Only now that I appreciate how extraordinary.
The Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust is honoured to present the Indira Gandhi Peace Prize to Sir David Attenborough. Sir David Attenborough is a historian, a naturalist, and a legendary broadcaster with his work spanning across nearly 7 decades and counting. Sir David was born in 1926 in Isleworth, Middlesex. He joined Cambridge University in 1945, where he obtained a degree in natural sciences. In 1947, Sir David joined the Royal Navy, post which he immersed himself in editing science books for children before finally joining the BBC. At BBC, he went on to form his own department, the Travel and Exploration Unit, which allowed him to continue with Zoo Quest as well as produce many documentaries. But the thirst for knowledge which defined Sir David sought him to pursue a postgraduate degree in social anthropology from the London School of Economics in the early 1960s before rejoining the BBC in 1965. It was during these years that he wrote and narrated several award-winning TV programs on anthropology and natural history, such as The Living Planet, The Private Life of Plants, Life in the Undergrowth, etc. Sir David was knighted in 1985 and has received many honours such as the UNESCO's Kalinga Prize, the Michael Faraday Prize, Fellowship of the Royal Society, as well as several Emmys and BAFTA awards. Not to forget at least 20 plant and animal species that have been named after him. In an age when the world is increasingly feeling the effects of climate change and biological aberrations, Sir David is being recognized by the Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust for being a powerful and persuasive voice on the need to listen to warnings about ecological disasters. His name was selected by an illustrious jury chaired by former President, the late Shri Pranab Mukherjee. The Indira Gandhi Peace Prize is being bestowed upon Sir David for his tireless work to awaken humankind to the need to preserve and protect our planet's biodiversity and the necessity of living in a sustainable and harmonious way with all of life, and to stop being, in his words, a plague on earth.
On behalf of Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust, I welcome you to the award presentation ceremony of the Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace, Disarmament and Development for the year 2019. This is a much coveted event which takes place before an invited audience with due ceremony. However, owing to the unusual circumstances due to the COVID pandemic, we are conducting this year's ceremony virtually. We begin with welcome address by Srimati Sonia Gandhi, Chairperson, Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust.
Sir David Attenborough, Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, trustees of the Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust, members of the jury of the Indira Gandhi Prize. Friends, I am delighted that the Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace, Disarmament and Development for 2019 is being formally conferred on Sir David Attenborough today. Sir David is already well known to us all through his prodigious creativity in educating humankind with brilliant films and books about the natural world. And he has, of late, been the most sensible voice warning us that we, more than anything else, are responsible for the accelerating threat to the environment on our planet. In essence, for well over half a century, Sir David has been one of nature's most staunch conscience keepers. Indira Gandhi, too, was one throughout her life. She was born in a political family, but saw herself as a child of nature, developing a special affinity for mountains, forests, birds, and animals from an early age. Along with the Quaker associate of Mahatma Gandhi, Horace Alexander, she was one of the founder members of Delhi's Bird Watching Society as long ago as 1950. Subsequently, as Prime Minister, she became an unwavering champion of environmental protection long before that cause had become popular both in India and abroad. Her momentous speech at the first ever UN conference on human environment at Stockholm in June 1972 has become a milestone in the global environmental discourse. It was in this speech that she first elaborated on the interconnectedness of peace, disarmament, and development with environmental conservation. Her view was forthright. Without meaningful disarmament, you cannot have enduring peace. And without protecting the environment, development will simply not be sustainable. In that speech, she was one of the first world leaders to draw attention to changing weather patterns, something now accepted as a hard reality. Indira Gandhi was acutely conscious of the fact that she was Prime Minister of a developing country, a country that needed to create jobs and tackle poverty. India needed to accelerate the pace of investment and to expand its physical infrastructure. But at the same time, Indira Gandhi was very sensitive to the imperative of maintaining what she would often call ecological balance. Her political innings were a search for that balance and the journey of educating her colleagues and the people to preserve that balance. Her Stockholm address ended with an invocation from the Atharva Ved, and I quote, "What of thee I dig out, let that quickly grow over, let me not hit thy vitals or thy heart," unquote. It is not a surprise, therefore, to find that the legal and institutional framework India now has for protecting its wonderful biodiversity had been put in place during her tenure as Prime Minister. It bears a personal imprimatur. And what can I say about Sir David himself that is already not known? To say that he is the world's leading authority on the natural world is to state the obvious. To say that his passion has been inspiring is also to reiterate what we all acknowledge. He has legions of admirers across the world, and age has not dimmed his zeal, neither has humanity's willful disregard for what he says. He has kept going relentlessly, educating, enlightening, and sensitizing millions of people. I well remember how excitedly Indira Gandhi would watch his documentaries with us and encourage her grandchildren to do so. I'm not sure whether Sir David had ever met her, but whether or not he had, the fact remains that when environmental protection has become all the more imperative, when climate change and continued loss of biodiversity is threatening livelihoods and public health, indeed life on Earth, there could have been there could not have been a more appropriate choice for an award in her name than Sir David Attenborough. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I will now read out the citation, first in Hindi, then in English. इंदिरा गांधी स्मारक न्यास का अंतर्राष्ट्रीय निर्णायक मंडल अपनी फिल्मों और पुस्तकों के माध्यम से प्राकृत दुनिया के चमत्कारों को प्रत्यक्ष करने हेतु अपने जीवन काल में संभवतः किसी अन्य व्यक्ति की तुलना में अधिक कार्य करके पूरी दुनिया में पीढ़ियों तक लोगों को शिक्षित और उनका मनोरंजन करके पृथ्वी पर मौजूदा जैव विविधता को सुरक्षित और संरक्षित करने की आवश्यकता के प्रति मानवता को जागरूक करने के उनके अथक प्रयास स्थायी और सामंजस्यपूर्ण तरीके से जीवन जीने की आवश्यकता पर जोर देते हुए प्रकृति के खिलाफ नहीं बल्कि उसके साथ काम करने की महत्ता को उजागर करने के उनके अनवरत प्रयासों के लिए सर डेविड एटनबरो को शांति, निरस्त्रीकरण और विकास के लिए वर्ष 2019 का इंदिरा गांधी पुरस्कार प्रदान करता है। The International Jury of the Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust has awarded to Sir David Attenborough for a lifetime of doing more to relieve the wonders of the natural world and study and for educating and entertaining generations of people through his films and books, for tirelessly working to awaken humankind to the need to preserve and protect the biodiversity of our planet, and advocating the necessity to live a sustainable and harmonious way of life, working with rather than against nature. The prize is being presented to Sir David Attenborough by Dr. Manmohan Singh, former Prime Minister of India. In the absence of a physical ceremony, since the trophy cannot be handed over, we are displaying it on your screens. The trophy is a square piece of banded hematite jasper, the same stone which is
presenting the trophy. Unmute.
She has announced.
Yes, sir, you can speak, sir.
David Attenborough, respected Sonia ji, no.
You can continue.
Members of the jury of the Indira Gandhi Prize, trustees of the Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust, friends. To begin with, I would like to pay tribute to the memory of our former President, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, who chaired the jury for the prize for 3 years and who passed away last month. It was under his guidance that last November the prize was awarded to Sir David. We are very sorry to miss him on this occasion. I am honored to have been able to symbolically present the Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace, Disarmament and Development to Sir David Attenborough. This award today is a unique conjugation because we know how much our late Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi herself, was concerned and involved with the protection of the environment and the natural world, as we have just heard from the chairperson, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. There can therefore be no more deserving recipient of the award at this time when the world is gripped by growing anxiety over the state of our environment and our planet. If anyone who can be described as a living legend in the context of the natural world, it is Sir. Over 7 decades, he has been, if I can put it in this way, the human voice of nature. He has delighted us, entertained us, informed us, and united us with nature in all its glories. Animate or inanimate, there is nothing on earth that has escaped his attention, and there is little that has not been better understood for the knowledge and experience he has brought to bear on it. Through the medium of films, so many of which have been prize-winning creations, books, articles, talks, he has vividly brought life for millions upon millions around the world, from children to aging adults. The world